Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that's on every New York angler's mind. The future of striped bass fishing and the potential regulations for 2026 now. I know 2026 sounds like it's a long way off, but in the world of fisheries management, the conversations and decisions happening right now are what will shape our fishing experiences then. So, grab a seat, maybe a cup of coffee, because this is a big one, and you'll want to be in the know. First off, let's set the stage. Why all this talk about 2026? It all comes down to the health of the striped bass population along the entire Atlantic coast. The Atlantic States Marine Fisheries Commission, or ASMFC, is the governing body that oversees the management of species like striped bass. For the past few years, scientific stock assessments have shown that the striped bass population is under pressure. Specifically, the number of spawning-age female fish, the big breeders that are crucial for the future of the species, has been below the target level. This isn't a new story. We've all seen the regulation changes over the last few years. We went from a larger slot limit to the current, tighter slot, and we've had emergency actions put in place. These measures were all designed to reduce what's called fishing mortality, which is just a technical term for the number of fish that are removed from the population by anglers like us. The goal has been to protect the strong year classes of fish, especially the 2015 year class, and allow them to grow up, spawn, and rebuild the stock. So, where do we stand now? The most recent stock assessments are still being analyzed. But the preliminary data suggests that while some of the emergency measures have helped, the population might not be rebuilding as quickly as scientists had hoped. This is why the ASMFC is already looking ahead to 2026. They operate on a long-term planning cycle, and they're redeveloping what's called Amendment 8 to the Interstate Fishery Management Plan for striped bass. This amendment is a complete overhaul, a new playbook for how we'll manage stripers for years to come. What does this mean for us, the anglers in New York? It means that the regulations we have right now are likely temporary. The rules for 2026 could look very different. The ASMFC is considering a wide range of options, and that's what I want to break down for you today. It's important to remember that nothing is set in stone yet. This is the phase where options are being developed and discussed, and public input is absolutely critical. Let's talk about some of the potential changes we might see. One of the biggest topics of discussion is the concept of slot limits. We're familiar with the current slot, where we can only keep fish within a specific size range. For 2026, the ASMFC could propose different slot limits. Maybe it's a similar size slot, but shifted up or down the size range. Or they could propose a wider or even narrower slot. The goal is always to protect the most productive spawning females, which are typically the larger fish, while still allowing for some recreational harvest. Another option that's on the table is a return to a minimum size limit, but with a twist. We might see something like a one fish bag limit at, say, 28 inches, but with a vessel limit. A vessel limit would mean that a boat with, for example, 4 anglers on board could only keep a total of 1 or 2 fish for the boat, regardless of how many people are fishing. This is a tool to reduce overall harvest while still allowing people to potentially take a fish home. Then there's the possibility of season changes. Could the striped bass season be shortened? It's possible. Management could look at closing the season during certain times of the year, perhaps during peak spawning periods in key areas like the Hudson River or Delaware Bay, to give the fish an undisturbed window to reproduce. This would be a significant change for many of us who plan our entire fishing year around the striper migration. We also need to talk about circle hooks. The mandatory use of circle hooks when fishing with bait has been a huge and successful conservation measure. It dramatically reduces gut hooking and improves the survival rate of released fish. I would be very surprised if this regulation goes away. In fact, it's more likely that the rules surrounding circle hooks could be further refined or strengthened. It's a proven tool that helps protect the fish we release. Now, one of the most controversial but necessary topics to discuss is the commercial fishing sector. Recreational anglers often feel that the commercial harvest is a major part of the problem. Amendment 8 will absolutely be reevaluating the allocation of striped bass between the commercial and recreational sectors. This is a complex issue with a lot of economic factors tied to it, but it's a core component of the management plan. Any changes here could have a big ripple effect on the entire fishery. So, with all these possibilities floating around, what can you do? This is the most important part of the video. Your voice matters. The ASMFC and our state agency, the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, or DEC, want and need to hear from the public. As they develop these options, they will hold public comment periods. This is your chance to attend meetings, write emails, and make your opinions known. Don't just say, "I don't like it." Be constructive. If you don't like a proposed option, explain why. Maybe it unfairly impacts your style of fishing, like surf casting versus boat fishing. More importantly, offer an alternative. If you have an idea that you think would achieve the conservation goals while being fair to anglers, share it. Do you prefer a slot limit, a higher minimum size, a tag system? These are the conversations we need to be having as a community. Keep an eye on the NYSDEC website and the ASMFC website. They will post all the meeting schedules and information on how to submit comments. We'll also be sure to share those updates right here on the channel as soon as they become available. So make sure you're subscribed and have those notifications turned on. It's also a great idea to get involved with local fishing clubs and advocacy groups, like the Coastal Conservation Association. These groups often have a seat at the table and can represent the collective voice of thousands of anglers. They do a fantastic job of breaking down these complex documents and mobilizing the fishing community to take action. Let's also touch on the why behind all of this. It can be frustrating to see regulations get tighter. It feels like we're constantly being asked to give up more. But we have to remember the ultimate goal: a healthy, sustainable striped bass population for generations to come. We all want our kids and grandkids to be able to experience the thrill of catching a big striped bass. To get there, we sometimes have to make short-term sacrifices for long-term gain. Conservation is a shared responsibility. Every time we choose to release a fish, especially a big female, we are contributing to the future of the fishery. Practicing good catch and release techniques is more important than ever. Handle fish carefully. Keep them in the water as much as possible. Use a dehooking tool and revive them properly before letting them go. These small actions, when multiplied by millions of anglers, make a massive difference. So, to recap the potential landscape for 2026, we could see new slot limits, changes to bag limits, possibly vessel limits, adjustments to the season, and a revaluation of the commercial and recreational allocations. It's a lot to take in, I know. But the key takeaway for today is that we are in a critical window of opportunity to influence these decisions. The process for Amendment 8 will unfold over the next year or so. There will be draft documents, public hearings, and plenty of debate. It's our job as passionate anglers and stewards of the resource to stay informed, get engaged, and make our voices heard. The future of striped bass fishing in New York is not just in the hands of the managers. It's in our hands too. We're all in this together. Whether you're a surf caster on Long Island, a boat angler in the Long Island Sound, or a river fisherman up on the Hudson, these regulations will affect all of us. Let's work together, share information, and advocate for a future where the bass are plentiful and our fishing traditions can continue. Thank you so much for tuning in for this important update. I know it's a heavy topic, but it's crucial. Please, drop a comment below. What are your thoughts on these potential changes? What kind of regulations would you like to see for 2026? Let's start the conversation right here. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss any future updates on this developing story. Until next time, tight lines and fish responsibly.